school.
Yeah,
That's
of
it.
course.
Yeah.
So do you like sports, like, any sports?
Well, school in my country usually start really early, so I playing sport like after time, like
Uh,
not in the morning, but in the in the evening, afternoon. So
yeah,
yeah.
of course. And tell me about the sport that you've tried before. So if there are any sports that you've tried before and you really liked it.
Um, I play basketball and volleyball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And volleyball and basket, and which one can be your favorite? So basketball or volleyball?
Well, I really like basketball, but I think I could play better in volleyball. So I also make it to the school team, so I think volleyball is better. So yeah.
Ah, of course, of course. So we can say that you have talented in volleyball, so it's better to follow it. Okay, yeah, got it. Well, let me share my screen. Okay, I'm gonna ask you your opinion about these photos. Tell me, so first of all, you know the sports, so you know them?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think about the sport? So which one? I don't know. If you want to try a new one, so if you're going to take up a new sport, which one can be your choice? Activity or sport?
Well,
Not it. Yeah.
I really want to try hockey. Like
Ah,
it's look really cool, and you know the movie, the new movie Inside Out, like the like Riley, she play hockey.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's look really cool to play, but like with the condition in Vietnam, we didn't really have enough to make this sport like more popular. But I
Ah,
really tried to play this. Like it's look really cool.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course. But yeah, because it's not really popular in your country, so maybe you haven't tried it before, but maybe. So what do you think about, I don't know, some sport like judo, karate, boxing? So what do you think about these type of sports? Like,
Well, I think that's cool too. Like boxing. I don't know. I don't. I tried boxing before, but I don't think that I'm into the sport. Like it's could, you know, do as a exercise or something, but I don't really interested in this kind of sport. So yeah.
yeah, of course, I know. Well, actually today, as you can guess, we're going to talk about sports. So, uh, tell me totally, are you a sport fan?
Yes, I am, cause I watch sport a lot since I was a kid, and I do play other sport too, but it's just I'm not good at it. But I do watching sport, like different sport.
Ah, yeah. So okay. Tell me, are there any sports that you only like to watch on TV but not to try? So it's like, okay, I like the sport, but only on TV.
I think it's soccer's all footballs in like different country. I don't know, but and swimming. Like I
Yeah,
think they're really entertainment to watch. But if I try it out, it's definitely not for me. Actually.
yeah, of course, of course. Well, okay, so let's do something. Okay, so ice hockey. Tell me about, before we get started with words and phrases about this topic, tell me about, because as I know, you have a lot of beaches in your country, so actually coastal cities, beaches. So tell me about water sports like surfing or water skiing. So or diving. So tell me, are they popular and something like common in your country? So most of people like to do and like to try.
Well, actually, my country, I think the only like sport besides soccer and
Ah,
nowadays or basketball, like popular, so I don't think sport would be like you can see out much in like the coastal cities like water sport. You
Yeah,
couldn't see it well because I don't think people like interesting it much. So it's
yeah,
kind of like the sport that we can do in our country was like really small.
yeah,
But I think that water sport would be really popular outside like the country, but it's just not in my country. So
yeah.
yeah.
Of course, very good. Well, so I think swimming, football, and badminton, as I heard, because
Yeah.
yeah, badminton, as I heard, is popular in your country. So, and tell me about some other activities. So, of course, sports and other activities like hiking or I don't know, climbing. So, first of all, tell me, are you interested in these type of activities? Or no, you say that that's not my cup of tea.
But it's actually not my cup of tea. Well,
Of
like
course.
I prefer doing sport and it's really team sport. Like I could
Oh,
do it with my friends, so I think it's better.
yeah, of
Well,
course.
I don't know, like it's just not my cup of tea and like hiking and
Yeah,
climbing.
climbing,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Well, so you totally, let me, okay, because we don't need these photos anymore. Okay, so we can say that you are, you are a sport fan and you like to take part in sport. So what it means when you take part in something, it means to be involved. Yeah, so to do it, to try to be involved. So you can use this phrasal verb in order to, I don't know, explain your opinion about sports. So you can say take part in some sports. Okay, like this one or that one. Okay, but sometimes of course you watch on TV. So you, as you said, you play basketball and volleyball at school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me about do you have different summer and for example of course not winter because it's or winter I can say if you have 4 seasons so summer and winter sport different at school.
Um no, I don't think there's different. But I think there's more like competition outside school. But we actually can attend it. In the summer there's like the young league and a festival or something like that. But I think there's more competition in the winter, more
Oh,
in the summer more than winter in our country.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, of course. Well, and tell me about past. So when you were a child, did you used to play or do sport that now you don't?
Um, when I was a kid, I take taekwondo, some kind of like
Yeah,
martial arts,
martial
and
arts. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I actually really want to try it out, but I take some classes when I was young, but then I was just too lazy to go to a class, so I just drop out. And now I was like really want to take a part in taekwondo again, but I think my like stretching was not able to do that again.
Yeah,
I was
and is
like,
that it? Yeah, it's like
yeah,
sorry, I interrupted you. I'm sorry, keep going. I interrupted you.
no, I think I finished that. So yeah.
Oh, and is that so martial art is popular with everyone in your country?
Um, I don't think so, but like if you're like a child and you go into like the I don't know, just like a small stadium in the cities, you can
Yeah,
see like taekwondo or karate
yeah,
classes, like
yeah,
public, so you can see them like training or
Yeah.
something. But it's not really that popular, I think.
Yeah, that much popular. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Well, so just let me uh, give you three alternatives that you can use when talking about sport. When you want to say that a sport is popular with everyone, so of course you can say it's popular. So when you want to say that it's popular with everyone, you can say it's mainstream sport. So if I want to divide actually vocabulary, words and phrases into two groups, like basic and IELTS. So we say that general, basic, normal, popular. Okay, of course you can use it in IELTS and it's definitely right. But IELTS alternative is mainstream. So it's better to use this one for IELTS. So it's a mainstream sport. But if you say popular, definitely right and no worries about it. And we have another sports. So some sports are competitive. So, for example, a competitive. And the last one, okay, some sports are watched by many people, okay, like for example, football, as you said. So we can say that this sport or this type of sports are spectator. So, spectator sport, that is sport many people watch. So when we say competitive sports, like, normally team sports, maybe, of course, not only team sports, but, they're competitive. So you normally expect for a winner and so more active, maybe. Well, so about a mainstream sport, maybe the most popular is soccer in your country? Most popular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
soccer.
Okay. So soccer. So everywhere, I think. I think all over the world, it's really. Well, okay. And let me ask you another question. Okay, but these questions are speaking related to speaking part one, so you don't need to give a lot of explanation, just, answer directly.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me, how do you do, or what do you do to keep fit?
Because I play sport at school, so I usually just stay after school to play some sport with my friends. And I think, yeah, I take a lot of sport class in the school time too. So I think that's just how I keep fit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And do you support,
especially
yeah,
yeah,
and do you support any soccer team?
yeah.
Yeah, what is your favorite one?
Oh, soccer team. Real Madrid. I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got it.
the one in Spain. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And who is your favorite player?
Well, I actually don't have some favorite player, but I
Ah,
do know a lot of them. So yeah.
of course you know. Of course you do. That's, I I know. So yeah, about I think we have two, maybe we brilliant sport player, football player, like the first one, Messi. Am I right? So
Yeah.
and Cristiano Ronaldo. So these
Yeah,
two.
Messi
So
and Ronaldo. There was always like a compete between them and their fans.
of course, but I think about Cristiano Ronaldo, he is not only sport player, but also actually we can see it's different, like stylish, like for example, it was really fit. Okay, when it comes to sport, yeah, I think the first one, Messi, maybe is, I don't know, can be better, but if we consider a package like, I don't know, body and something like sport, so you know that he did lots of advertisements for different companies and brands. So I think Cristiano Ronaldo is a bit more,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Well, okay, so I'm going to give you another actually phrase. When you want to say that I want to try a new, I really like to try a new activity. So, or for example, I tried to, or I want to try, I like to try. So to try a new activity. So how to say, to try a new activity. You can say to try your hand at. I really like to try my hand at, for example, martial art like this. So to try your hand at something, like it can be in this word, so you can add. Well, okay. Tell me about violence. Is violence a problem at sporting events in your country? Because, normally in different countries around the world, sometimes we have some problems with, violence, especially about football fans. You know that they cause serious problems. So do you have the same thing in your country?
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's some times that people, like throwing the flares
Yeah.
flames into the football field, the soccer one. And I think it was like they're crazy on the stadium, and also the players in my country, they're also like punching each other too.
Ah, of
Times they're
course.
just like too mad, and then they just punch into each other, and there was like
Yeah.
crazy fight, even though it was like live in the TV, and I was like, they're so embarrassing. But I
Yeah,
don't
of
know,
course.
mad.
Yeah, yeah. So it's something common all around the world, not only your country. So of course we can say that, especially football fans. Normally, they getting involved in fights, as you said, really fight both inside and outside stadiums. Really, we say, yeah, as you said, it's like, not only inside stadiums, just, but also outside. So they keep going like it's a, I don't know, it's a fight, it's war. I don't know what is that. As you said, it's really embarrassing, but we normally have, especially about team sports. I don't know, maybe they're too much, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, when you want to say that, uh, when someone react too much, and it wasn't that it's too much, you don't need to react this much or this way. You can say you don't need to be so salty. So salty, to be salty means to overreact. So, some people are so salty and say, okay, for example, I don't know, your friend called you, you can't, okay, and you can't back at that moment, maybe later, okay, yeah, of course, your friend may become angry with you, but, or upset or something like this. But it's, doesn't mean that they need to react too much or overreact. So you can say, okay, you don't need to be salty, so it's okay, don't overreact. So this word is good one. You can use it. It's a slang.
Yeah.
We normally use it. Yeah, we normally use it. Well, okay. Let's keep going with the rest of questions. So, well, let's talk about someone. who is obsessed with exercise and keeping himself or herself fit, or some people are really into, they are obsessed with doing lots of exercise to be, so we can say fitness fanatic. And the word fanatic or fanatical is a really good one, good to actually express extreme interest in something, you know, to a degree that some people find unreasonable, like it's too much, you know? So extremely interested in something. And normally we can use it for sports. Is fanatical, okay, or fanatic. So for example, my friend is fanatical about football. So to be fanatical about something. And when we say fitness fanatic, extremely interested in being fit, so that doing lots of exercise, and this is okay. So tell me, uh, do you know anyone who's, I don't know, a sport fanatic?
Um, no. I mean, so actually, my friends doesn't take sport like so too much, like seriously. I just
Yeah, of
we just play
course.
for fun. So yeah,
Yeah, of course. And you know, some people actually, this being fanatic or fanatical, you know, can maybe cause and may lead people to behave actually in violent ways. Not only about sport, so
yeah,
sometimes about, I don't know, religion, or I don't know, for example, opinions, thought. They are fanatics, so they like, I don't know, bias is a kind of bias, so that they behave extremely. So maybe it's not really good, but you can use it for sport. For example, I am not, or I am sport fanatic. So I spend lots of time to do some exercise, to, for example, I don't know, to taking part in sports like this. Well, and now let's keep going with the rest of speaking part two now. As you know, in part two, a cue card, a task card is given to you, and you need to, first of all, you have 1 minute to think about it. You have paper, you have your pen or pencil, and you can make some notes, words, or I don't know, something that you need when talking. You need to check it and then start talking
yeah,
about the topic. And after that, we have speaking part three. Some questions are asked, and the questions are related to your cue card in part two. So
uh,
that you need to talk about, yeah, of course. So part two and part three are connected, like, you know, so part two, if you have a topic in part two, definitely part three is the rest of part two. Some other questions related to your cue card that you need to talk. And you have more time to answer because it's something like a conversation. And you have more time because you have less, a few questions, like, you know, 4 or 5. But in part one, of course, you have more questions. So you only have maybe 20 or 25 seconds to talk on each question for part
um,
one. Yeah, of course. For part one, that's really important not to. Let me give you actually maybe something about IELTS speaking. You may know, okay? So, do you know anything about IELTS speaking structure?
no,
So, okay, so first of all, let's talk about it because that's really important. Something may, I don't know, make you a bit confused, or you feel like, I don't know, it's a bit different. So first of all, as you know, IELTS speaking consists of three parts. So, part one, part two, and part two and part three. So, that in part one, some general questions are asked about you, your family, your opinion. Okay, so this is about part one. So, about your interests, so everything about you. Total actually time for this part is about 4 to 5 minutes, and maybe you will be asked between 8 to 11 questions for part one. So for each question, 20-25 seconds is enough. And don't worry if the examiner interrupt you. So it's okay. Some students, some candidates are like, uh, I don't know, they get nervous because, wow, examiner interrupted me. It's okay. It's really normal because, because of time limit, if you
Yeah.
exceed, if you talk too long, they need to do it. So it's really normal and there is no effect on your score. So no worries. About part two. Okay, this one is individual and we call it as long term. Okay, so you only talk on a topic that is given to you. So the examiner gives you a topic cue card, okay, with a topic in it, and then you need to think. If you want, you can make notes, of course, with a pencil and a piece of paper that you have 1 minute. Okay, and after that, you have 3 to 4 minutes to talk about your cue card. That's really important. Part two is really important because there are some parts that should be included. Okay, your uh, the question in your answer. So, and after that we have part three. Actually, part three follows part two. So it's a two-way discussion. So the examiner asks you some questions and you need to be involved in a discussion. So the questions, as I told you, related to your cue card in part two, so the same. And actually, this one, in this part, in part three, maybe the language that you need is a bit more abstract than in the other. So because, for example, in part one, you answer directly, but in part three, you need like, you generally talk on something and maybe you need to make an introduction. So it's a bit more abstract. And you have 4 to 5 minutes for part three. But, uh, okay, the total time is the same as part one. But in part one, you will be asked more questions, so you have less time. In part three, you will be asked few questions, less than part one, so you can talk more. Okay?
Okay.
But as I told you, don't get nervous when interruption. That's really normal, quite normal in IELTS. So you may get interruption because you speak too long and because of this. And so at the beginning, so you have, yeah, you've sit for IELTS test, as I remember, right? Before.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you know that at the beginning you need to show your ID card and, so this part, I'm not going to talk about it. Well, and now we're going to move on part two. So let me write the cue card on the board because we're going to discuss them. And let me say something about uh, questions. Sometimes you say that, okay, if I don't understand the question, can I ask the examiner to paraphrase? It depends. If you are in part one or part two or part three. So for part one, no, because there's some general questions.
Yeah.
So why do you need to ask or paraphrase? For part two, because you have a cue card, again, no. You can say, okay, I'm saying, but I don't understand. Please paraphrase. No, it's not okay. But for part three, if you don't get, like, I don't know the meaning of something, or not only what is the meaning of this word. I don't mean definitely no, we don't say. For example, could you please paraphrase your question? So of course, examiner gives you another alternative. So for part three, you can do it, but definitely avoid asking for the meaning of words because it's not good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, part two. Okay. Describe the sports club you belong, or oh, okay. Or you used to belong to. So what should you say? Okay. You should say what the club is when you join, why you joined, okay, and explain benefits of belonging to your club. Okay, that's it. This is your cue card now. Just think about it. You need to think and talk. So you have 1 minute if you want to think about it and then get started.
So I have some volleyball class at my school, and the teacher was a former national athlete, and then he decided to open a club, and it's just a club about volleyball that he teach outside of school. So he asked me like if I want to joining the club. So I joined it about in March, and I joined it because I want to play volleyball with my friends, and I want to improve my skills. Also, I want to joining more competitions because we didn't have much chance in the school to join in as a team for the school. And I think there's a lot of benefits when I was one of the in the sport club. Um, I think that my skill are improved, and I get to know more things about volleyball, like other type of surfing and hitting. Everything was just new out when I tried, like the things that I think that I couldn't try before. And I also get involved in many competitions, and I think it's really fun. It's great memories, and also my health is also being stable, and that was one of the way I could keep it and stay tuned with the sport as I played volleyball. but I was too busy for the school thing, so I just um, dropped out of the club. I left the club, but I think it's a great club that I used to belong to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Well, so first of all, that was really good. The first good point about your answer, all different actually parts, cue cards, were included in your answer. That was really good. So you tried to answer each one by one. So that was really good. But uh, just maybe some phrases, some words should be replaced by, some more advanced or oils alternatives. For example, when you want to say that, I am busy. Okay, so how to say I am busy? Do you have any other idea about, you know, being busy? You have
Um,
any other, I don't know, EDM?
I don't know.
So the first one that you can say, yeah, you know that swamped is another. So when you say I'm swamped with something is very busy. So the first one, swamped with something. And the second one, that is really good one. Okay, you can use an idiom. If you say I am snowed under, it means to be really busy with something. For example, I'm snowed under with, I don't know, lots of activities, or I'm snowed under at school nowadays. It means I have lots of things to do. Okay. Or I have a lot on my plate. So all that means you are busy. Nowadays, I have a lot on my plate at school, so, or really, I'm snowed under with, I don't know, schoolwork nowadays, so I can't these days, so I can't, or I'm swamped with. So all of them are correct, especially the idioms that you can use. So you can easily use idioms. And for example, you want to say that I'm a person who is interested in sports. So how to say, normally we can do, for example, for technology, if someone is interested in technology and has information, lots of information about technology, we say, okay, techie. But here, when we say someone who is, I don't know, interested in sports, or for example, have enjoys sports, especially, this one is good at some sports, so you can say sporty, a bit sporty, or for example, I'm a kind of sporty, I try to be, or so. I really like to, I don't know, to take up. So when you want to say that, to try, the verb take is really good verb to be used for activities, for sports. So here we have another alternative, Alex, that is take up. Take up means to start new sport or activity. So in your answer, you can use it. It's a good one. So take up. Instead of I want to try something new, you can say, I would like to take up. Okay. If you are, okay, not, or you are into a sport, if you have been really sporty, you can say. So they are actually different phrases that you can use when making your answer. Of course, your answer was good. So first of all, I belong to, I'm a part of, for example, I'm a member of our school volleyball team. So why not? You can say, or volleyball club. So you can say, and then you need to explain it. What is that? For example, just briefly, of course, we know that what volleyball is. Of course, we know, but it's not that actually, it's a popular sport in my country. So actually, when it comes to sport, the first thing that we normally like to try, tend to try, is volleyball. So it's a bit explanation. And after that, okay, when you mentioned and elected, I joined the club. For example, when I don't know, for example, I was this age, this year. So you can mention. And then why? So of course, because your teacher asked you to join, because your teacher knows you know how, I don't know, how you are interested in sport. So more explanation, because as I told you, so you have more time. And as I told you, you can talk more than this time and less than this time. So it's better just manage your time to talk, okay, and to explain, to expand your answer, okay, but totally, that was really good. Well, okay. And you said about benefits. Yeah, of course. So there are lots of benefits of belonging to a club, a sport club. So one of them, actually, it can maintain your physical health and, of course, your mental health. So you can mention your physical health. You can maintain, of course, to maintain your physical health, your mental health, so all them. Then later in actually the topic of health and fitness, again, we will discuss some words and phrases. Well, let's keep going with part 3. Okay, as I told you, this part is related to part 2, but more abstract. You don't answer directly. For example, in part 1, when I say, do you like sport? Definitely say, yes, I do. Why not? For example, and please, Alex, it's really important not to give short answers and just, yes, I do. No, I don't. Different alternatives. Do you like? Definitely. Of course. And then explain. And then explain. Well, number 1. Do you think people in your country exercise enough? If not, why?
Yeah, I couldn't hear the answer. Wait.
Of course, again, do you think people in your country exercise enough? If not, why?
Well, I think people in Vietnam usually their appearance was really fit. I think young people now they take up sport a lot, especially in basketball. I think there's like a really popular recently the past 3 years, and I think everybody have their own way to keeping fit. And I think because of the traditional thing, something it's just like getting like keeping fit is better. So I think everybody in Vietnam was know how to control their body and playing sport. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So when it comes to adult, maybe no, but yeah, young people, you say yes. Am I right?
Yeah.
So how to say, that was really good, but how to say, actually, uh, if I were you, I would say, in my opinion, for example, the majority, a lot of people, majority of adults in my country definitely don't get don't get enough exercise. So instead of repeating, because sometimes we tend to repeat the question, but we don't need. So we can say the majority of adults. Okay, so majority of adults in my country don't get enough exercise. So this is the first one. And when you look at, you can talk about obesity. People are becoming fat and fat, so we see. So for example, if you, I don't know, have a look around, you see different levels of obesity. So people, the state of being fat.
Yeah.
Of course it's true. So because, I'm talking about my country, especially, due to junk food, so, and I think in my country, we can say maybe many people, most of the majority of people are out of condition, out of condition. What is the meaning of this that you can use it? When we say out of condition, it means they are not strong. They are not ready to, I don't know, play a sport, to work out. Okay?
Yeah.
So, yeah, this one is really, and to do exercise. What are the words I can use? Workout. Alex, this one is really good one. So
Yeah.
to do exercise, to work out, it's really good one. So you can, but when it comes to young people, they more tend to keep fit, or for example, maintain their physical health so that they normally, work out. So now you can say, okay, and you can see lots of sport facilities, for
Yeah.
example, including fitness centers, swimming pools, so people easily can actually do and get enough exercise. So you can say something like this, okay? And nowadays, getting in shape, staying in shape, to be fit, so they are good words. So to get in shape, to stay in shape, to be fit. So they all are good phrases that you can use and you need to use. Okay. Well, and do you think competitive sports should be part of the school curriculum?
Yeah.
So why do you think? Yeah.
No, wait. I don't understand
Ah,
the words.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because you say yeah, yeah means
It's like
I
yeah
got it.
question marks.
Of course. Okay, so I'm sorry, I needed to say so. Okay. If there is no question about this one, the first question, we're going to move on the second one. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Well, number two, do you think competitive sports should be part of the school program curriculum?
Um. Well, I think yes, because our school have many classes open for students to play sport, but there's didn't have any much um, competitions that we could involve in. So I think it's better to have some compete between like classes and sports to make it more like I don't know better. It's just
Yeah,
like it's kind of just boring when you're just playing sport and then it's out of the time and then you gotta leave for the class. I think there should be more competitions in the school program.
yeah, of course. I definitely do agree with you. So when we say competitive, at the same time, we can say non-competitive. So we have competitive and none. As you said, that was really good one. You said that, yeah, it will be really boring if you, for example, do something, okay, or take part in sport without being winner or loser. So it's really boring. So you only play, but uh, you can say, I definitely think that it's important for children to take part in competitive sports at school because especially in recent years, there's been a trend, we have of having non-competitive sports so that maybe less sporty kids, now you can say, less sporty kids can take part without always being the loser. So I don't like this. So when you are good at sports, you really want to achieve high level of success. So for example, it's extremely important. Okay, so it's like we can say life is competitive and school needs to help children, kids to cope, to deal with this. So as I told you, abstract, not direct. So here, let me write a few two lines, so maybe one or two lines, it's not bad. So as I told you, for example, you can mention sporty kids, people who are good at, who are interested in. So we really want to achieve a high level of success, okay, at school. So we need to compete. And it's really important because you can say life, this one, abstract means this, something like indirect, life general. Life is competitive and schools need to help children to cope, to deal with. So to get ready for real life. So why not? It start with school competitions. Okay. Of course, I can say for those children who hate sports and always fail at it, actually maybe this gonna work. So maybe they, I don't know, experience some negative sides, but maybe schools need to think about this, need to find a solution. Yeah, it's a good idea for those who are not good at sports, normally fail. Of course, when there is no competition, of course, they can get more benefits. But for those who are interested in, for sporty kids, it's really important to provide some opportunities, okay, so that they can show their talents, their abilities. Yeah, agree?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
this is the meaning of abstract answer. You know, I'm talking about something not directly. So this is something different. And the last question, what are the benefits of international sport events?
Um. Wait. What?
Oh, it's okay.
Oh my god. I don't know.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. What?
Yeah, yeah, your camera
What?
is,
What?
yeah.
Uh. Is it normal now? I don't
What's
know.
up?
I think it's just connected with my phone. I don't know.
Ah,
Oh my
uh,
gosh.
it's okay. It's okay. You can fix it. It's okay. So we can fix it.
Um. I don't know. I don't actually know about like how the international events actually work, but I think it's for fundraisings
Yeah.
maybe. And also like the brands that sponsor to the competition, the event competitions could get like more closer to the people who watching it, and going to the match stadiums. And I think that's there's benefits for like,
Yeah.
like the money things. I don't know.
Yeah, of course. Let me say something. So the first and the most important thing, because actually we are talking about international competitions, okay, of course, it's about different nationalities and cultures.
Yeah.
So it's a very important, okay, especially in modern world that we don't know anything about, maybe in all the other cultures. So it's a good way to get to know all the cultures, nationalities, yeah. And so instead of saying competitor, okay, competitor, a person who compete, you can also say rival. Or instead of saying rival, competitor, and rivalry, competition. So you can also use this, okay? Wow. So of course we can learn about different cultures. So this is the first one. And after that, when top international athletes compete together, like, I don't know, the best ones, they motivate and inspire, like, each other. So you motivate me because you are the best, maybe. So because of this, we see that records are often set at events such as Olympics. So records, best records, are often set at events such as Olympic. Because the best ones are in Olympic, so they motivate, they inspire, each other. So of course they try to do their best to achieve their personal bests. So athletes achieve personal bests, because it's like a competition, so you need to show your best. Okay, and of course, it encourages, international sporting events encourage people to get involved in sport,
Yeah.
especially younger generation. When TV cover competitions, especially, for example, for disabled, sport people like Paralympic, that people who have some disabilities, of course, they encourage people to take part, to do. Okay, so you can also talk about, actually, it can, the last one, encourage, okay, especially younger generation, or, and people with disabilities. I don't know, people who have problem in legs, hands, that's Paralympic, taking
Oh
up.
yeah.
Yeah, especially because normally they think that no, we can't. But that is really important for disabled sport people. They can show their best. So we talked about three different fields that you can mention. Okay, Alex, of course you need to, and it can be life-changing
Yeah.
for them, you know? So that's really important. Okay, Alex, I want you to practice this part and try to use these phrases, these words, okay, in order to make your own answer. Well, okay, and now I'm here to answer any questions if you have.
Uh, I don't think so, but like,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, okay, very good. Thank you. That was really good time with you. Don't forget about
Oh,
reviewing.
I have to say,
See?
oh,
Yeah.
so I was going to Korea next week, so I was going for a whole week, so I'm not gonna be able to um s- take the next two lessons. So yeah,
Us next week.
yeah,
You mean on Friday and Saturday,
yeah.
right? Just, please, could you please send me actually a text to remind me because,
Oh
I
yeah,
may forget. Yeah,
yeah,
just,
of course.
yes, I will be absent so that I can take notes. It's okay. Thank you for letting me know. Have a
Yeah,
great time.
yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.